All right. You guys like these night games? I'm going to keep them short and sweet because I know everyone wants to get the heck out of here. All right? I'll give you as much as I can, as quickly as I can. I'm really proud of this football team because the way they worked this past week, we worked with a purpose. We knew we had some things that we needed to clean up. We knew that we needed to get better, and we had some things that we had to prove. And we wanted to come out and start fast, and play complimentary football. And we were able to do that against a very good football team. Western Kentucky is a good team, and they have a lot of good players. They have an offense that's very hard to stop, and a quarterback that plays at a high level. And we came out and we started fast, and we were able to get the job done. Our fans were incredible tonight. It was an electric atmosphere. The student section was, they were, at an elite level, and really appreciate that with homecoming. There's an expectation of, coming back and supporting our football team. In turn, we need to show up and play, and play ball and play a brand of football that that everyone can be proud of. And we came out early and did that, and so mission accomplished. It's really what it's all about. And 5-0, yeah, that's a good start. But the most important thing is what we do next. And so we got a 24-hour rule, and then we're gonna get back at it. We got to take the show on the road, and we all know that the Big Ten is a tough conference, and so we're going to continue to work to get better. But love this football team, and they're they're willing to work. They're willing to work for it, and they're willing to earn it, and that's important. There's no sense of entitlement in that locker room. But with that, I'll open it up.
Start here with Larry Lake.
In this game and really over the last 4 games, just talk about what a weapon Jayden Reed is.
What you see is what you get. I mean, because he does that in practice. He practices at a high level, and he's a very explosive player. He can do a lot. And he plays with really good toughness. He's hyper competitive, and like I said, he's a difference maker for us. And special teams on offense, and he can do it. He can do it all, And so, but he's humble and he's hardworking, and that's his edge. That's his edge, and that's contagious.
Matt.
Hey, Mel, you obviously come in here knowing what they're capable of doing on offense, and I think 3 times in the first half they got in the red zone, you lit them in field goals. How critical was that in kind of, you guys building that first half lead and having a comfortable margin going into the break?
It was critical because, oftentimes when you play teams like this, and they can move the ball, they put stress on your defense. It's not so much about yards, it's about points. Yards are one thing, but points is something else. And to be able to go and hold them to field goal attempts in the red zone was big for us because you end up trading field goals for touchdowns. With our offense making plays and special teams, and we're able to open up a lead, and that's huge. You want to make teams one-dimensional. I think maybe at halftime they might have had 27 yards rushing, and so and that's important to play great red zone defense. And they have been, one of the tops in the country coming into the game in red zone. Oftentimes they were getting touchdowns down there, so we know if we make them run a lot of plays down there that we have an opportunity to get them stopped. And what we need to improve is, how did they get down there in the first place? And those are explosive plays, and when we eliminate those, then we'll be better. And we'll be a lot better. We'll eliminate the explosives, so that's going to be a point of emphasis this week, obviously.
Coach, looking at Jalen Naylor here, he had 8 catches for 128 yards, but I'm guessing from coach's standpoint, wide receivers room standpoint, a yak of 98 yards.
You said yak?
Yeah, yards after catch, yeah.
Yeah, yak is good. I love yak. Yards after contact, yards after catch, it's important. And that shows, what the commitment that he's made in the weight room, and then, just being, very competitive and, get what you can get, and that's a part of his game because he put it out there it's out there. He did his own tape. He did that. So that's part of his game. He's fast. He's got, and he's got good, he's got good yak. So yak is good.
On a bigger scale here, where do you think Jaden's ceiling is? Because after tonight, he's now just the 3rd player in Michigan State's history to have 2 punt returns for a touchdown in a season.
Yeah, Reed, we'll just have to see. I always talk about not having self-imposed limitations, just go as far as you can go with what you have. And that's what we're working to do with this entire team. But he's guys are straining to get blocks for him, and working really hard to create some room for him so he can make plays for us. And so it's not just him, but I think it's apparent, it's obvious that he's a really good player. He's a really good player. And he's a consistent performer. And consistency in performance is not easy to come by. And I think he's consistent because of the way that he approaches his preparation, his mindset. He's always dialed in and looking to get better.
Brad. Mel, I don't know when the last time you were coaching in a game with 1,000 yards of offense, but Zappe and that offense were, to steal your phrase, relentless. They kept coming at you. Was that good for your defense to play against a quarterback and an offense like that?
Yeah, I told the coaches before I came in here, we're gonna learn a lot from that because they're very explosive on offense, and the type of offense that they run puts a lot of stress on everyone on your defense. Everyone's at the point of attack. And they run the ball as well, and they go up tempo. They go no huddle. They go fast, and the quarterback's accurate with the ball, and they have good players. So they're hard to stop. That's good for us to be able to play an offense like that and have some success, especially early. That's a good football team. I'm just telling you.
Mel, I wanted to ask you about the targeting call, Cal Haladay late. What your thoughts are on that one? Did you get much of an explanation there? And is that anything that can you go to the conference after the fact and maybe appeal something like that? Or is just your thoughts in general on that call?
Yeah, after every game, when we watch the film, we see some plays where we have questions about. Sometimes we want some clarification or an explanation. It could be a rule. It could be some type of anything that we're not sure, like why was that called, or want to make sure that that we know what's going on, that we're coaching our players the right way. And so there's a process for that. So we turn those plays in to the league. And then they give us the feedback, in short order. It takes, a day or so. And they'll say, that was a good call, or maybe that shouldn't have been called, or whatever. And then and at least that way we know. So we're trying to get clarification during the game, obviously, and then afterwards, and we just go through the process, and then we move on. And I mean, that's what we have to do. I mean, there's control what we can control, in the process of turning plays in and getting feedback is, we follow that, and that's the game.
Mel, I'm curious about obviously Jaden's had a big impact on punt return 2 games in a row now. I'm just wondering your philosophy of having him back there, where that sort of comes from. I mean, there's some coaches that wouldn't have a guy like that was your leading receiver, put him in that position with some high collision type of potential there. Have you always been that way, or is it case by case for you, team by team, just in terms of having a true star as your return man and what comes with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure why you wouldn't want to have him back there. He can help you. He can make plays back there, and he helps with field position. He wants to be back there. He wants to make plays, big plays, and he's certainly a weapon. So, we're going to play our guys on special teams. Special teams is not one of those deals where it's an afterthought. We spend a lot of time in meetings and on the field. We dedicate a lot of time to special teams because it's a third of the game, and that's part of a culture, where guys want to play on special teams. They understand how important it is to play complementary football, and when you get that type of buy-in, especially from your starters or your best players, get that type of buy-in, then you're gonna have a better football team. Because again, I mean, special teams is field position, which is huge on score probabilities, and it's momentum. And they're one-play series. We call them ops. We break the end every special teams meeting, say ops on 3, 1, 2, 3 ops. One-play series, man. Go out there and get it done. Doesn't matter if you're a starter, backup, freshman, senior, and we got to have it. It's important. It helps you win games.
Last question here in front with Jack.
Yeah, Mel, you made him kick a lot of field goals, but Zappe did complete 49 passes. From all your experience with the NFL, is that a guy you think might play on Sunday?
Of course, he'll have a shot. I think he came in completing over 70% of his passes or whatever, and so he's a legit player. I mean, he's accurate with the ball. He's got really good command of that offense, and those. You don't see offenses like that every week. You don't see guys like that every week. I think he's a special player. But we'll have to see, what the future holds for him. But he's very competitive, and he's tough too. I mean, he showed a lot of toughness in that game, so I have a lot of respect for him and what type of player he is.